I think in special needs education, I would make that the #1 priority. And in particular, I would develop a model where children would have access to the therapies, to speech and language, to physiotherapy, to occupational therapy within the school campuses. I would say that the Department of Education must take on board responsibility for delivering therapies from the educational perspective to kids in schools. At the moment, kids are being pulled out of schools, sent to various centres, long waiting lists. It's not good enough, and early intervention is the key in a child's life. Still, as a society, we're failing too many children, and too many parents are fighting very hard to get the basic rights for their children in attending schools. Now, I brought in the system over a decade ago of special needs assistants and resource teachers to our primary schools. I'm very passionate about it. We haven't completed the chapter on that. That would be #1 thing that I would want done in relation to that. #2, in terms of the health area, again, we would in early to child from 0 to 6, in terms of ensuring adequate and quick response within the health system in terms of medical issues or developmental issues that children have. Again, it's too long. And I think a new deal for children is something that I want seen delivered in 2016 onwards, and that's something we should do as a society. On the broader front, in terms of enterprise, #3 is small to medium-sized companies, self-starters. I think we would change the incentives for people who are starting their own businesses, that there would be better rewards and less taxation in the first 5 years on capital gains and that for new companies, and also in relation to the regulatory framework that would govern new companies and individuals starting out, because I actually think the engine of growth for the next decade in this society will be self-starters, small to medium-sized companies. In America at the moment, for the last 5 years, the greatest number of jobs were created in companies of less than 5 people. And in many ways, you know, TheJournal.ie is kind of an example of what I'm saying. The whole internet revolution is actually in itself an engine for growth and employment, and is changing the paradigm. And I don't feel that our taxation and our regulatory structures have responded to that enough.